Hello again, YouTube, and I'm back with another video here. In this video here, I just show you some of the my classic and my TriStar meter, uh, current performance levels. And as you can see right here, I'm charging my battery bank. It's almost solar noon, almost. And state of charge right now, my battery bank is 51%. I kind of drained it down this morning to about 16% state of charge. And I have so far I have 195 amp hours in the battery bank. This is the total amperage that I'm actually sending to the batteries. The one up top is what I use to continually charge the ultra capacitors, and this is the total system charging amps. Total power going to my battery bank and my current system voltage. And let's take a look at the classic. This is how the classic is doing. Essentially, right now it's probably getting ready to go into an absorb, or it's probably already in absorb or resting mode. It's not in resting yet, but probably in absorb because my battery voltage is at 32 volts. And so this is how it's happening. That's the array that it's connected to is a 1060 watt array. That's why it's only operating at 58%. And the current voltage of that array is 127. And let's take a look at the TriStar. TriStar is doing pretty well. It's at 49 amps. It was at it was just over 50 earlier, and you can see the array amperage is 8.57 amps. Now, if I were to take a couple of strings and put them in parallel, that would be well over 16 amps. And for you folks that have made suggestions as far as parallel strings and so forth, I do appreciate your suggestions. But the thing is, if you look at the data plate on the TriStar meter, and it specifically says that the limit is 15 amps, not at 3,000 watts, whatever. The limit is 15 amps, and to increase that by putting as opposed to keeping them in series, where the voltage increases but the amperage does not. If you put any one of those pairs of panels in parallel on a nice bright sunny day, that is obviously going to be well over 16 amps, and that will jeopardize the TriStar meter. So that's not a risk that I'm willing to take, especially when it clearly says on the nameplate or the data plate that the maximum is 15 amps. So I mean, I thank you for the suggestions, but that's a bit much. Now, the panels themselves, each one of those panels that the TriStar is on is 250 watts. So if you multiply that by 8, you get 2,000 watts. And looking at my data here, obviously because it's very cold, it's cold, and it's kind of bright out. You can see that the wattage that I'm pulling is well over 2,000 watts. And so that's why when you see here it says 102% efficiency, it's because I had it set to 2,000 watts as the rated capacity of the panels. So at 216 volts times this many amps, you get this many watts. And again, obviously the numbers could be messed up, who knows, but the thing is, this is what I'm getting so far. And current voltage as far as the TriStar is concerned is 31.56. Let's head back here. My total system voltage. As far as the system status, as far as the classic is concerned, the classic, I'm pulling this directly from the classic. And the classic says, hey, we're at 32 volts and 52% state of charge, and amp hours in my battery bank is 199, and this is the amperage that's going to the batteries. So just kind of give you folks an idea of what the system, as far as what it's doing with the two charge controllers acting and working in tandem with each other. So far it's doing pretty well. And so I hope to get a full charge at least by the end of the day. And if it continues along this track. I should get it. It's slowly climbing, and it's only been, if anything, it's only been like maybe 3 hours charging since 8 this morning. And so I'm hoping, hey, there's 200 amp hours in the battery bank, so I got another 180 amp hours to go as far as to make it to be full. So this amp hours remaining is if I was actually draining the battery, or I was inverting or off grid. This would say, hey, you've got 200 amp hours left in the bank. That's what that means. Okay, take care, YouTube, and hopefully this gives you give you folks some ideas. I made my own monitoring software. My own monitoring interface using the Modbus protocol that comes with both the TriStar or the Morningstar charge controller and the classic charge controller. They both talk a protocol called Modbus TCP. So I use that to essentially create my own monitoring screens. All right. Take care, YouTube.